Okay, so if you know what Notebooklm is, then you know how powerful it is. And you can basically take all of your knowledge and information and research and turn it into a PowerPoint or a video or a podcast or a slide deck or an infographic or a quiz or flashcards or whatever you want. And a lot of people today are still doing that manually, but now we have AI that can do it for us automatically. So instead of me having to go here, grab all of these links, paste them in one by one, get it to do the analysis, and then pick what I want from the studio. Like, for example, here I have a slide deck about how to target your shoulder muscles. We can now, for example, tell Gemini to go into Notebooklm, create a new notebook, use these resources, and then turn it into a podcast, a slide deck, and a report, and I can just send that. And now I don't actually have to be here, and it'll go and get the whole thing done and come back to us with the result. Okay, so as you can see, it's done. It's come back and told us that it's now doing the generation, and so it's submitted the actual job. So if I go to my Notebooklm, you can see if I refresh this page, Claude just released the ability to test whatever, so it's over here. And you can see we now have our comprehensive briefing ready. It's based on the 3 videos that we had given it, right? Which were by other people. I didn't make those videos. I simply used their videos as resources. It's going to do the slide deck and the audio overview. Alright, anyways, while that runs and while it continues to do that, I went ahead and I simply asked Gemini here, although I am running Claude Opus, what do you think are the power use cases of having a connection that's API level to Notebooklm? And it went ahead and gave me some really good answers here. For example, you could build an RSS newsletter podcast pipeline, so you could automatically ingest articles from the net, from the web, or from sources you decide every morning and have that automatically turned into a newsletter or into a video or a podcast and have that sent to people who are your clients or people who you have in a community in any kind of way. You could do YouTube channel monitoring, there's course material generation, onboarding packages. The whole point, the whole idea here is that instead of you having to manually trigger Notebooklm to make a podcast or to make a infographic, you can have it on a scheduled trigger for it to run every morning. You can have it connected to Telegram, and for example, maybe you're walking somewhere and you're reading an article on your phone, you like what it's about, you could open up a Telegram chat, send a voice message and be like, I read an article today about how Claude Code introduced the ability to test new skills. Can you go ahead, find articles on that and create a podcast for me? And you can send that and it can be entirely done from start to finish without you having to actually bother with it at all. So there's a ton of power use cases here, but you need to have the connection set up and you need to do it in such a way that we're actually going to be using an unofficial Notebooklm API because they don't have an official one yet. But fortunately, somebody made one for us, so we're going to be able to use that one. Okay. So at the end of that, I'll actually show you how to do this. So you can create a Telegram connection and be able to voice in all kinds of requests and have actual content made for you based on a simple 10-second voice note that you send, which turns into an entire podcast if you wanted to. Alright, so aside from all of these other kind of use cases here, let's go into how to actually set this up. So the first thing you need to do is there is a GitHub repo and the link is in the description, and it's basically the Notebooklm API, Notebooklm -pi GitHub. Okay, so when you open this one and you look at it, you see that it's a lot of stuff here, right? But if you look at the README, although you don't actually have to look at the README, but it's the unofficial library that allows you to connect to Notebooklm. Now the setup process for this is actually quite simple. So all you're going to do is go into Terminal. So I'm going to open up a new window for Terminal here. And so what you'll do is you'll run pip3 install Notebooklm. Alright? Now I already have this. So you see if I do Notebooklm -- version, I already have the CLI version 0.3.3. If you don't have it, then this will work for you fine. You'll run this and you'll be okay. Okay, if you look, if you scroll a bit down on the README file, you will see that there's the next command here, which is pip install Notebooklm pi browser. Now, if pip is giving you an issue, you need to use pip3. Like I'll use pip3. And if I use pip3, and you can see it says requirement already satisfied again because I already have it. And then lastly, you need to install Playwright like that. And again, I already have it installed, so I don't need to install it again. Okay, so now you make sure you have it by running this command. Like I said, run notebooklm -- version, and you should see a version come up, which means that you have it already installed and you're good to go. Okay, the next thing we need to do now is get the skill. So the reason that Antigravity here was able to actually understand what I wanted was because I already gave it access to a skill.md file, which is everything it needs in order to connect to Notebooklm. So for example, if you look at it here, it is the actual skill.md file. Name, description, the automation, the installation, everything about how to use Notebooklm to get things done, like generate all the creatives and all of that stuff, is already inside this skill.md file. And thankfully, the guy who made the GitHub here also, his name is Tenglin, also went ahead and made a skill.md file for us to be able to install. So you can see it says you can simply use Notebooklm skill install, or you can build your own integrations. So for the simplicity of this video, we will run the Notebooklm skill install command, and you can see it says install notebook skill, and it says that Claude Code will now recognize Notebooklm commands. Perfect. Now, if you don't have Claude Code installed, well, then you should probably have it installed, but this video is going to be about anti-gravity, so I'm going to show you how to take that skill and give it to anti-gravity for it to be able to use for free. Because right now we can access Notebooklm for free. All of the entire generation and the asset conversion from PowerPoint to PDF to quiz to infographic to carousel to video, whatever, is all free. It's free. It's run by Google. So if you want to be able to give it to anti-gravity, then all you have to do is very simply locate this skill folder here and give that to anti-gravity as I did here. Alright, so you can see I gave it to it here, and I have a reference file which is storage_state.json, which basically is my login info for Notebooklm. So I'm going to show you how to set that up right now. Okay. So you need to locate the file that this is talking about. So you see it says that mine is a skill.md inside Claude skills Notebooklm skill.md. So if I open Finder, okay, I'm going to open Finder, and it says that it's in Claude. So I need to go to Claude skills. I need to go to Claude skills. Now you see it has .claude, so it's a hidden folder, meaning if you press Command-Shift-G, I can open Claude. Okay, and now I'm looking for skills, and you can see I have Notebooklm and I have a skill.md file right here, okay, which is everything that it needs in order to run Notebooklm. So here's all you have to do. You just simply need to open this file with whatever agentic IDE you want to use. It can be Cursor, it can be Claude Code, it can be Antigravity. In this example, we are just using Antigravity, which is completely fine. So wherever you have Notebooklm, open up a new window in Antigravity. Okay, I'm going to open up a new window here. And I'm simply going to go ahead and drag this Notebooklm file into Antigravity. So just drop it in there. I'm going to say I trust the authors, and all you will really have is a skill.md, right? You're not going to actually see this reference files, right? As a matter of fact, let me just remove that for now so that you don't get confused. Okay, so when you drop in your skill.md file, you're simply just going to have it be in there. But this isn't a very good way to do it, so let's go ahead and create a directory for us to be able to use. So inside, I'm going to take this and put it in my, I'm going to, you know what, move it here. I'm going to copy this. I'm going to go into downloads. I'm going to make a new folder. I'm going to call this Notebooklm. Alright, I'm going to click on it. I'm going to paste in that folder. I'm going to open a new anti-gravity window. I'm going to drop in this folder into here. Alright, so you don't want to ever run it just as a single file, because you will actually lose access to the conversation with the IDE when you do that. Okay, now pick whatever model it is that you want to use. Personally, I would highly recommend you run a Opus 4.6 or a Gemini 3.1 High. Any of these are going to do. The 3.1 Pro High or the Opus or Sonnet 4.6 are going to be good. I could use Sonnet for now and bring this in here and say read and understand this. Let's run it to set up you can just type slash init. Okay, so this is gonna read the file, understand what we need to do, and then help us get through the creation process. So the whole idea behind this is that we need to now set up our authentication to be able to give this IDE access to Notebooklm through our personal account. So you can see, like, if you look here, it says that authentication is important and we need to do Notebooklm login and Notebooklm list. All right, so we need to run Notebooklm login. So just Control C this, open up here, and you can see if I just write Notebooklm login and I press enter, it's going to open up a browser window right here. Now you will log in, and once you see your notebooks, come back here, and then it says press enter when logged in. Just press enter, and that's it, you're done. Now you have your storage state JSON, and again, remember where this path is so you can move it into this folder that we have opened in Antigravity. Alright, so the way you're going to do this now is look at the folder that you're in, which is, we're in the root folder right now. Click on this and then write reference underscore files and press enter. Now this is currently going to be empty, but that's okay. We see where this is saved. It's saved in Notebooklm, which is a folder within this folder here, but it has a dot, meaning it's hidden. So we need to use Command-Shift-G to find it. So if I open this up here and I go Command-Shift-G, I'm looking for Notebooklm. Alright, and I have storage state JSON right here. So all I'm going to do is copy this file. I'm going to come in here, press Command V, and paste in the file and move it into the reference files. Okay, now basically go back down to the agent that you're talking to and say, alright, first go here and press Command S or Control S to save it, and it will go from green to a normal color. And then say, I have logged in and set up the auth in, and then just drag this file into here. Do a test and create a empty notebook called test anti-gravity. And now we'll send this off. So since you set up your credentials and you've managed to give it the authentication via the terminal that we opened using Playwright, it now has access to everything. So it says auth is working, authenticated, and showing an existing notebook. Now let me create a new empty notebook. A new empty notebook called Test Antigravity has been created. So if I go back here, okay, these are also done. We'll look at them in a minute. And I click on this. I want to reload this page. And we have Test Antigravity, which was just created. Now we gave it 0 sources. Now for you to understand what possible things you can do, just say, what commands can I use here? And it's going to give you a list of all of the different Notebooklm commands that you can use. Right, so you can create, you can edit, you can turn PowerPoints into videos and videos into PowerPoints, and create you being able to maybe use your phone while you're on the go somewhere and simply voice a message into Telegram and have it actually do this entire thing for you from start to finish. And I'm going to show you how to do that in the next video. Right, the next video I film, which will be tomorrow, I'm going to show you how you can connect Telegram to this entire setup that we've just built from scratch, and it took us only about 10 minutes, and you have an entire functioning agentic IDE sitting on top of your Notebooklm. So all of the things that you wanted to create and that you didn't want to create manually and you didn't want to go in and do it yourself, simply instruct the agent. You can even give it something so broad as to say something like, I want a video on the power of agentic IDEs So I'm going to say find 3 sources and use it. Right? And so use Notebooklm to create that video. Alright, so you get something as broad as this, and it will go ahead and do it, and it will ask you for more information if it needs more information. And pretty much you're off the races now. So if you want to look at what it created for us when we gave it the last command, which was this one, we told it to make a slide deck, to make a podcast overview, and to give us a document report. So if we look at this, for example, This is the slide deck. Okay, so I'm going to just expand the viewer here. You can see we have a, wow, really, really nice, well put together slide deck about the importance of Claude Code now releasing this new entire system that it did. We have a comprehensive briefing over Claude Skills 2.0, which is anchored by the fact that we actually have the ability to now test skills. And then lastly, we have a podcast deep dive, which I don't know if the audio will
Welcome
come
back
through.
to another deep dive, custom tailored just for you.
Glad to be diving in today.
Yeah, let me start by asking you a question.
Okay, I'm not sure if you guys can even hear that or not. I don't think it's recording system audio, but if it is, then you heard it. Anyways, hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you find it useful. Hope you find a way that you can go ahead and connect your own agentic IDE, whether it's Claude Code, it's Cursor, or it's Antigravity, to Notebooklm, so you can actually be super creative and not have to worry about too much of the manual labor behind doing these kind of things. Make lead magnets, make PDFs, make valuable and information dense things for people who need help understanding stuff. So go ahead, get creative, and I will see you in the next one.